I have to tell you, America, there is an awful lot of passion in this room today. I feel kind of passionately about this. We're talking about energy and business and how do we possibly survive. We have oil and gas and coal people, and then we have just regular business people here in the audience. I have to tell you, we're just talking in the break, and I'm not used to asking a question of an audience and have bing, 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 everybody shouting out answers. We're back with Bob Murray. Also joining us is Deneen Borelli. She's a fellow with Project 21. Tom Borelli is a senior fellow, National Center for Public Policy Research. Jack Gerard is the president of the American Petroleum Institute. Ken Anderson is the CEO of Tri-State Generation and Transmission Association, a cooperative electric utility. And let me go back to Jack, who you raised your hand and you said, yeah, I can come up with a different reason other than intentionally trying to destroy the country.
No, what I was going to say, Glenn, I was going to add to what Bob was saying. I think two aspects of the jobs issue at 9% unemployment in the country we need to stay focused on. The first one is the current jobs. As Bob's talked about, the threat to his industry. In the oil and gas industry in the United States, we employ 9.2 million Americans. That's the first component. The second is we have the ability, if we were turned loose with permits and access to American resources produced by Americans for Americans, to create another 1 million jobs here in the United States. So when we're talking about these policies that are impacting our ability to produce energy, it threatens the existing employment base, but it also holds us back from bringing this economy back to recovery.
Well, the problem is that they will say that you're doing the old jobs. These are, Ken, go ahead. You're shaking your head. Go ahead.
Well, I think innovation. I mean, you mentioned it. What's wrong with the innovation of the existing foundational jobs that we have? If you don't like coal, then let's work on fixing it. It's a technology we can mature far beyond where we've had to take it so far. There's lots of jobs in that technological innovation, as well as the balance of other renewable innovation. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying, where's the balance back to something that's very mature technology, but we can mature it much farther. We've got the minds, we've got the capabilities. Those are jobs.
Is anybody else frustrated that nobody seems to get this in America, that nobody seems to understand that? I mean, even while they're getting bills now from their electric company with statements saying your electric is going up 30%. Deneen, nobody seems to get it.
Well, they should get it after the show, I hope. But, you know, President Obama and his administration, they have a command and control energy policy because he wants to prop up renewable sources of energy and destroy the fossil fuel industry through regulations and through restricting supply. That is part of the reason why the prices are being driven up. But hopefully more and more Americans will speak up and stand up and push back on this effort.
Tom, you have been going after General Electric for a very long time.
Yep.
For a very long time. General Electric, they're building all these turbines, they're making money, they're doing all these green things, and they're getting, you want to talk about subsidies, how many, seriously, Jack, how many subsidies do the oil companies get?
Zero.
Zero. Say it again.
The oil and natural gas industry gets zero subsidies.
That's not true. I've got.
That's absolutely true.
No, I've got cartoons here that are up on the wall. It shows the fat cats getting subsidies, the oil companies.
The oil and gas industry gets zero subsidies. Now, while some would like to convince you and make you believe we get subsidies, the tax provisions they're talking about, that they've proposed raising our cost $80 billion over the next 10 years, are provisions that apply to all industry, to the General Electrics you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
What they've done is identified 5 companies that they want to deny the ability to recover our costs to produce energy. It's punitive, it's vindictive, and it doesn't help us produce the energy we need for this country.
Okay, so Tom, tell me about General Electric.
Well, you have to understand, President Obama, if he's not anything else, he's a community activist. And we wouldn't have Obamacare if it wasn't for the pharmaceutical companies, Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer, who lobbied for it. So those companies responsible for Obamacare. With energy policy, it's the same thing. He triangulates the business community, picks out a few of the winners that he likes, and then they lobby together. Cap and trade passed the House of Representatives because of General Electric, DuPont, Dow Chemical. The problem with General Electric is, first of all, Immelt has been CEO for almost 10 years. Their stock went from 40, it's now around 18. He had to settle twice with the Securities and Exchange Commission, once for cooking the books, and yet he still has a job. That's why we, the people, have to start holding him accountable and all these executives, because if it wasn't for big business with Obama, we wouldn't have many of these problems.
Well, it's the same thing that happened, America, if you don't know what happened in the Great Depression with FDR, it's exactly what he did. He took, there was a great, and I wish I had this off the top of my head, but there was a great tire manufacturer in New Jersey that was making tires. They were better, they were cheaper. But FDR got in with the big tire companies that you know, Goodyear, Goodrich, all of them. And he said to them, make the rules. Tell us what's right. The people in that little tire company in New Jersey went and testified in defense of their company and their boss. They went out of business. They went out of business. But the names you know are still in business. And it's exactly what's happening with GE right now. They're using the same thing, and they're taking big companies, getting into bed with them, and putting everybody else out. You're small business owners. How many are small business owners? How many of you have the opportunity to get one of the waivers for Obamacare? No, but there were 1,400 of them. GE have their Obamacare waiver? Do you know, Tom?
I'm not sure.
Okay. There are special exceptions. You just have to be worthy of it, and all you have to do is kowtow at the feet of an emperor. That's where we're headed, an emperor. It's equal justice. Justice for all. Equal justice. When you have special exceptions, or when you have tax waivers and you say, not tax waivers, just the opposite of tax waivers, where you say, no, everybody else pays this level, but because I don't like you, you're going to pay this level? That's not America, is it?
No. Glenn, let's talk about innovation, though.
Hang on just a second. Innovation when we come back.